Hello, people out there in the world. My name is Nathaniel Myers, and I guess I'm supposed to talk about something. So I think I gotta go way, way, way back. Okay, as a little boy or a baby, I was able to see things, see if like my sisters and brothers were around me, and I was in the crib. I think maybe I was four, maybe 3 or 4 years old. I still had Pampers on. I woke up. And I saw my sisters and brothers looking at me, smiling or something, but their faces was kind of crooked or weird looking. Where I was able to see, it was like I know that my sisters and brothers I grew up with have demons in them. They don't really come out that much unless um, they want to, like the demons in them want to show themselves to me. That, yeah, I got your sister. They act kind of funny because I know how each one of them have different personalities. So when that demon comes out, they act totally different from their personality. And that's another way how you could tell. The eyes look different. And then they have little moles on their faces somewhere when they didn't have it before. So at 4, and then I couldn't jump out of the crib and run away. Where I'm gonna run to. So a couple years go and pass. They treat me like like they treat me like a younger brother, a good one. If somebody try to fight me or beat me up or whatever, they was always there protecting me, and I was basically the good one. They was the mean ones, but I was the good one, and I guess they succumbing to uh, Satan and everything, so they have demons in them and controlling them. But when I was growing up, my family did not treat me like that. That they actually loved me in a way. And but this occult, they gonna tell you a whole different kind of story. They gonna lie and say I was uh, some kind of prostitute or some male prostitute, or I did this and did that, which my father who raised me up, he didn't go for stuff like that. He was that kind of parent that, you do something wrong, you gonna get a whooping. And the stuff that I did when I was younger wasn't nearly close to being out there in the street and nothing like that. And he was a very disciplined type parent. And these big communities that's in these occult that wasn't raised like I was. And my parents make sure that their kids were raised up, they go to school, they get college education. It was all about education. Go to school, get an education. Go to school. And then we couldn't understand how he had the money to pay for college for most of us, majority of us. If we wanted to go to college or go to trade school or whatever we wanted to do, as long as we had good grades and we wanted to go to college, he was going to pay for it. And most of my brothers and sisters that went to college, my father paid for it. But he had like 2 jobs. It didn't seem like he was a part of a cult or something like that. He was getting extra money because he was working like 2, sometimes 3 jobs. And my sister was telling me that my father worked a lot. Sometimes he had 3 jobs. My mother worked at Marrakesh for 20 years, 8 hours a day, 32 hours a week. And then she got 20, did 20 years there. She retired. And my father kept working until his company sold. The son sold the company. Then money he saved up went down south. My mom wanted to stay up here, stay in New Haven, but he said, well, who's going to take care of you? And my mom was retired. She could, stay with one of the sisters that had a house of their own, because most of them had houses. And, but that's how I grew up, It's a cult. Stealing money from other people. My parents wasn't like that. I wasn't raised that way. But anyway, this occult had me, instead of, they didn't kill me, I was basically siphoned. I felt like I was tired a lot. Or I was energetic. And then sometimes I didn't usually get sick. I hardly ever had a cold. But it's like when I did get drained, it just seemed like I was sweating in bed or something. But then when I woke up, got up in the morning, moving around, it's like I had a boost of energy. Didn't understand that, but that was God putting energy right back in me while they was draining my energy every night for so long. I guess for 40-some odd years. And there were some things after high school. There was a person that was in my home class, but that person was mean. I didn't want to be bothered with that person. But it happened to be that person was so supposed to be a mate spiritually. But I said, Lord, that can't be her. Please, no, no, no. But that person was a handler. It was assigned by the cult to watch me. And the person kept draining. And that was the link between me to that person to the cult. How they was draining my energy and sending it around the world and everything. And then I graduated 88, high school. I didn't go to college because it's like my mind was erased some couple of times. So every time when I try to do something positive for a good job or go to school for something, I went to trade school, welding school. And I graduated from there, but I didn't, in 91, no, I think it was 89, went there for a couple of months. It was one of those programs that Eli Whitney. And then in 91, I went again to a welding school, because I didn't think the welding school that I went to wasn't good enough, because I didn't get no job, so I figured I needed more training. Went to another welding school, got more training. Still didn't get a job because they didn't want me having no really good job, so I had to work. And throughout the years, I ended up working at a school bus company for a very long time. Well, I worked at a post office for a casual, but I tried to get into full time, passed the test a couple of times, but somehow I just never got hired permanently. I had some family that was in there. Seemed like I only can get low vibration jobs, because if I try to go for something bigger, like working on the public works or something, which has better benefits, I put the application in every week, but somehow I still won't get hired. So I had to do something. So I did. I kept on. I got my CDL and did school bus. That's the only man I could seem like I could get. Seemed like they was fine with that. And then worked in different jobs, doing driving shuttle driver. I even drove a coach bus sometimes. Got a job working at a garbage company for like 3 years. Then I went to another garbage company, Seymour, Connecticut. Worked there for a while, from 2003 to 2005, 2009. And then left there. So basically, everything I tried to do to get something better, it was like I couldn't do it because they was attacking me all the time. But I didn't know who I was. I didn't know I was a chosen one at that time. I didn't learn I was a chosen one until I was 52 years old. When I was looking at the video about 2014, I think 2012, I was looking at it, learning about chosen people, how they act and how they seem like they're isolated and they go through so much trouble. And I felt that it seemed like I was the same way. Like I feel isolated from my family. I feel like they like to party sometimes. Not crazy party, they do drink sometimes, but not like crazy. They just drink and they mellow out. Not like drinking till they get pissy drunk. No, they don't act like that. And then but my father was like he didn't drink. I mean, he drank at one point in time, but before he was younger. But when he was raising us, he didn't hardly ever do it. He didn't want to bring it into the family, so therefore everybody else will start doing it. He wants them to be focused on church, school, and get an education, and get out the house when they would graduate from high school or go to college. So therefore they can have a better life than he did. And until it starts to happen with this, the everyday spell work, spiritual warfare. That happened in 2000. I was getting spell work, but I just didn't know. What the freak? I gotta plug up the phone. So, 13 minutes. Of course. Turn the light on. Go dark in here. I get a little ring in my ear right here. I guess that's a warning that somebody don't like me doing this video. Because somebody's out there probably doing a video about me saying something totally different than what I'm saying. So I'm just going to get to the, I got married in 1994. I met my wife, girlfriend, in 1989, January 29th, 1989. I prayed at 7:30. It was a Saturday. Saturday night, 7:30. I prayed, wanted to meet somebody, girlfriend, and then eventually maybe married, and a couple of years from then, from that date, because I wanted to have a relationship with my father and my mother that I grew up with had, because they was married for 54 years. So I wanted something like that. So I asked God to send me somebody that was very understanding and strong, but not overbearing. And I wanted somebody that was cute. I didn't want no pretty woman, because a lot of guys want to try to talk to them and everything. They always go after the pretty ones or the slim ones. So I want somebody that's a little heavy set, but not that much heavy. They ain't had to be slim like a hourglass or something like that. I ain't mind a little meat on their bones. I guess because my mom she wasn't heavy. She was a little slim, but she was a tiny woman. But so I don't think it was that really. But I figured females that was like really slim, really pretty, they was morely like the ones I seen, I guess in high school and everything. They was like always going for the popular people. I wasn't popular. I wasn't even cute until I was 11th grade. One day I was ugly. Next day I was cute. I was like, what the frick? I looked like the same person, but somehow I changed in 24 hours. So what day was that? I don't know. I don't remember that. But anyway, when I met that person, went out a couple nights, and a couple of years later, I think it was I met her in 1989. I went to a school. I went to a welding school. Came out of that, and I graduated in '92. Didn't get a job. I tried to get a job, but I think I got one job, and I was doing really good. But the supervisor gave me this piece, told me I can weld on it because it was some kind of good piece. It had numbers on it, and I just put it aside because I better not weld on that. But they kept coming by. I said, you can use this piece. You can weld on it for practice. And I said, I don't think, why would you give me a good piece for it? I said, no, I'm just going to stick with the pieces I got. And they kept bugging me about it. So I should have known that was somebody that possessed that supervisor. And so as soon as I weld on it, I told you not to weld on it. And then that day, they fired me. So there was a person that possessed that person. So therefore, they will fire me from that job because I guess maybe the supervisor, the operation manager was over the supervisor, was going to hire me. And I was going to be able to do the welding and I get better pay. So therefore, they want to make sure that I was going to get no welding job. And then after that, I tried for other welding jobs. Nothing. Couldn't get it because there was he ain't gonna be making that kind of money. And then 92, I graduated in 92 from that place when I got the job afterwards. Then I went ahead, and then in 94, me and my wife got married July 30th, 1994. And it was in a garden, Hamden, Connecticut. The church that we went to, even though she'd been there forever, her grandmother been there forever, they told us don't charge us a lot of money to go there. And I was like, well, you ought she's a member. Her grandmother's been a member there forever, but they was going to charge a lot of money, so we found a garden, paid less money. It was hot that day. And we got everything we needed. My sister helped me. We needed a van to get all the flowers together, so I had to go pick them up. And we got everything. I was trying to get me a best man. Somebody I knew was a friend of mine, but he happened to actually be a part of this group. But I didn't know until I got a little older. And so somebody else that was part of the Masons, but I didn't know that the Masons was like that bad when it comes to, because they do spell work and all that. But he was a part of the Masons. He didn't act that way towards me or nothing like that. He asked me to join, but I said no because I just didn't feel right about him. About the, not him, but the way they do things. Because I was more of a Baptist, and the way they dressed and the way, it's just something about it give me the heebie-jeebies about it. I just felt that I wouldn't like it. Something satanic about it. I think my spirit was totally against it. So I'm always the type that I go by what my instincts and how my spirit react to a person or to a place, anything. That was like my guide. Or my transcendent. It was like I wanted to go in, but my body pulled me back. Like my body had that mind of its own. Like, don't go in there. I'm telling you, don't go in there. And so I won't be able to move. So I pushing myself to go in, but my body keep going backwards. So I said, okay, fine. I'm not going to go. That's my spirit pulling me back. Because it was like, no, you ain't going in there. So you ain't joining this church. And so I never did. So, man, it's a story time. So therefore, I'm just going back, go all the way up to the nitty gritty, what you probably really want to hear. And got married, and we ended up going up to someplace to live. Times was okay. But the whole thing, when I met my wife, and it's a club called Skitters. That was January 29th, 1989. It was 10:30 at night. That's when I met her. And I think I was supposed to meet somebody else. There's a light-skinned girl there, less heavier than the one I looked at, because I prayed and I said, Lord, I want somebody that's brown skin, brown eyes, maybe a little shorter than me. It could be a little a little heavy, but not that much. And so when I went in there, soon I saw the woman across that was light skinned and gray eyes. I think I asked for that too. She had jet black hair, really, 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 really pretty. And because I don't really mess with pretty girls, because I guess the way I seen it is like they're too good for me. I didn't think I was cute enough back then, and so I figured to go with somebody that was cute, not somebody that was blazing. I underestimated myself, I guess. And so I said it wasn't like I wasn't worthy of them because they're like so gorgeous and everything. And so I went with the brown skinned chick instead of the beautiful one I saw that I was supposed to probably be with, because I think God told her to go there because she looked like she was looking for somebody. Now my eyes and me and her eyes connected, but it was like a pause. She didn't come forward, and then I didn't go forward. And And there was a connection, but since there was no movement between me and her, I turned to the left and I saw somebody that fit the description I gave God. And I went for it. But then she was kind of back offish. But I guess I should have just let go. But I looked to the right to see the other girl, but she wasn't there no more. So I guess I should have backed off and go sit somewhere. But I was persistent about the chubby one that was more chubbier than the other one. I was determined to have a date or get to know somebody, and I picked the wrong one. Because it turned out that that person who I was with and then eventually married later on actually was, well, she was nice, but after a year after marriage, she turned really bad. You know, the marriage wasn't really going that well and everything. It was just, we went to church and everything. It was in church, but it was getting kind of bad. And the whole thing is somebody from my past was a witch, and she found out I was married, and she astral traveled and inserted herself into her body somehow and possessed her. And that's the reason why she was acting the way she was acting. And I didn't know all about that because I didn't believe in witches and warlocks. I knew about the fallen angels in church and everything, but I didn't think that the fallen angels were still alive, still able to roaming around on earth and everything. I thought they was out in hell somewhere, just sitting there or something like that, and not can't come out or something. I mean, one of those realms in those chambers where there was other ancient demons that God got them in a chamber somewhere and they can't come out because they know too much and they are too wicked. So I'm thinking like that because in church, they don't really talk about the fallen angels. They ain't saying, they don't really talk about it where therefore they're Satan's team, where therefore he has his fallen angels to do a lot of things to people. Basically, being that they are like energy vampires, and they be hovering around you. They be around your energy or merge with you or something, and they find ways to do rituals so therefore they can siphon energy from chosen ones or regular people, and basically make that life kind of where they will have abundant life, but you won't, because you're just a sponge. So this person was a witch. She was a cult leader, and this cult was still they was still after me, but I didn't know none of that stuff until I got older, and then I started learning more about chosen ones, and I started learning about meditation, grounding, and I like learning more about Mother Gaia and the universe, the connection, learning about how Jesus meditated night and day. And there's different types of way to meditate. You can stand up on the grass, walk, and put your hands up in the air, and the energy go up to the universe and comes down. You just sit down, cross your legs, and you can do it for 5-10 minutes or how long you want to do it in a quiet place, in the woods or on the grass in a park near some water, because you connect with your ancestors, and you can by grounding. Either way, it takes all the negativity that's in you out into the ground and out your body. So that's the reason why they wanted you to ground yourself. But it's different ways. I mean, now reading the word is giving time with God, getting to know the word, so therefore you have that connection with the word, with God. The more you read his word, the more connection you have with him. And even though Jesus is all about the chakras, for you to learn about the chakras, so therefore you know how, you will know what ailments you might have, what issues that you might have, and it pertains to your chakras. So learning how to cleanse your chakras. Some people use crystals. I found a way to do it where if I learn how to cleanse my own chakras, because I think everybody can probably do it, but I'm on Earth Angel, Starseer, and a light worker. But I don't think it's because of all that. I just figured I'm a magician, I guess, as well, because I imagine things, and mostly when I imagine things, they actually come true. If the Lord wants them, if He allows that. Sometimes can't be doubtful, because if I'm doubtful, then I'm agreeing with somebody else to do something, allowing that to happen. And if I'm not doubtful, then it won't work. And sometimes they use rituals, and when it got to do with being doubtful or worry that nothing's going to happen, nothing's going to get better, and by being that way, they use their rituals to take from you. So and that was going on for a long time. She was in my wife's body for off and on for a long time. So, and I didn't know. Like I said, I didn't believe it at that time. And so in 2014, my wife passed, and I still had gifts and stuff. But what happened was, when she actually passed, because she had a cardiac arrest twice, and the doctor said after the second time she's going to be gone. And the reason why she was in the hospital, because her blood sugar had went down, and she had this big thing in her stomach, like she couldn't go to the bathroom. Her bowels stopped working, and the food that she ate and what was in her stomach was this big mass, and it turned rock hard. And I said, how is this possible if this would happen? And they tried to put something in her stomach to get her out of her body that way, but it really wasn't doing anything. And they want her to eat, and she said, no, I don't want you to eat. This is gonna get harder. And she was, and it wasn't getting no better. And the whole time, that witch was still in her body. So when my wife actually died, I saw a silhouette of this person come out of her body. And it looked like somebody I knew from my past, high school. I already knew the girl's name and everything. But I saw this person come out of her body. Nobody else there was a woman there. It was her best friend. She was a preacher. She didn't even see it. She didn't see, and she was gifted. She had the gift to see in the veil and everything. She didn't see it. But I saw her come out of her body and walked with her head up, with her hand on her hip, walking like the job is done. Now, I didn't hear her say that, but that's the way it seemed like that's what she was thinking. And it was just an image of her. She was light-skinned, black hair, and a ponytail. She had her clothes on. She had a light blue shirt, but you could see the belly button part of it, and kind of blue jeans with slippers. And walked right up. Nobody saw it but me. And I thought I was going crazy. And the doctor ruled it So basically, her lungs had collapsed, and that was it. So therefore, she was in her body making sure that that she died, because she killed it that way. Now, there was a time I was in Camden, 2020, I think. I had an apartment after my wife passed, and we got everything, we did the funeral and all that stuff. And I left Connecticut, went down south, came to Terrell, then got an apartment in Camden. And what happened to me is that I was sleeping, and then I felt this energy come to my toes. Somebody astral traveled to me, and they put their hand on my mouth and put their hand on my chest, trying to make my heart rate go up, beat real fast, trying to make me have a cardiac arrest while I was sleeping. But I felt everything, and I tried to get up and I couldn't, and so I said, freak this, and I got up. So the person that came after me was a boyfriend of this person who came out of my wife's body. He was a witch too. He was a divine masculine, but he went to the other side. And he was a Leo. And he came after me because she lied to him. Said that I did something or whatever spiritually, and I didn't know how to do that stuff. When I was younger, I was able to astral travel, but only to heal people. I used to ask God, can I go how to heal somebody? I was to go across seas and heal people that didn't have insurance. I don't know. I just saw a video on the TV and how people across seas, some of them didn't have insurance to get medical work done. So people who was praying so much for their children or them to be healed, I asked God. And I didn't know I was actually really a healer, but I would sleep. Even when I was younger, I would get up, and what I did was I had my higher self to go with the angels to a different place, across seas, and just heal people, kids, grown-ups. And I would remember that I was doing it, but Satan didn't like me doing that, so he made sure that I forgot who I healed. But I always said to the people, give the praise to God, because he allowed me to come and heal you. I just put my hand out, and whatever illness the kid had or the person had, they would be healed. And I believed that, and I actually was doing that. I did it for a very long time, until I had to go through this process and stuff, and then real spiritual warfare really started happening. That's the only reason I use the astral travel for that only. I mean, I didn't try to use it for evil. Everybody sees fallen angels like they do, and come in astral travel, want to come in your energy and look at what you're doing. And if you got you got paperwork and you're dealing with accounts and everything, they're sitting right beside you, looking at everything you're doing. And accounts, passwords, and all that other stuff, they see in everything. And then all of a sudden, your money start coming out of your account and everything, and you're like, you didn't do it. Loans be PPP loans and all that. You didn't do it. They doing it. What happens? I was doing that up to, I think, 49, and then stopped. Because it was starting getting crazier. So when I left to come down south, I had to meet this person again. God wanted me to meet this person from my past. And I didn't want to. I said, I don't know, I don't want to be this person, because they had. Um, I learned that because I was. I mean, they called me the black sheep, but I was a gift to this occult, and I was. They were supposed to, you know, be good to me because I was able to, with God's this key, this energy will bless the city and bless everybody in the court. Because my thing with my family, what I grew up in, I wanted to bless my family somehow. We're there for have some kind of fun. We're there for every kid in the family. If they can afford to go to college, the fund would take care of that. So I said that when I was like 3 or something, 3 or 4, probably 7 years old. I said something like that, and God, and I was there to bless Dalcoat and bless the communities and everything, but they turn around and use and siphon energy from me because they looked at me as a living sacrifice, like Jesus was a sacrifice for the people by dying on a cross. And that's not what God's plan was for me or any of his chosen, because that's what Jesus did. But God wasn't doing that for his chosen, the rest of the people out here. That's not what we were supposed to be doing. We were supposed to be a blessing to that family, even though it was a covenant or a court. But all across the world, all the occults and everything would turn against the chosen ones and siphon energy from them and use them as batteries, like the Matrix. And so now, from like this time and everything, from Camden, I learned more about it. God put a 24-hour demon on me. That's a practice thing, and I had to just dance, sing, and be happy for 24 hours. And then it was a whole thing to see if I can stand it. And I just learned what I needed to do, and I did it for. It was heavy though. It felt like a 110. Like those big things that look like it's 1 ton. And I mean, that's of course a lot more heavier. So I guess it was like 100 pounds on top of because I was like kind of like 250. And then I had my own weight. And then that weight of that demon on me felt like it was like 100 or 200 pounds on top of me. And I had to keep myself up for 24 hours. And I got through it. And I did. So once the 24 hours over, that demon took off. And so he had 24 hours to keep me down, like I guess I was supposed to be my face on the ground or something like that. And but I kept myself up. And I kept pushing. I kept doing it. And I guess because of what I went through when I was younger and all that stuff I did with, I guess by me going through all this process and stuff and all this spell work, I took all that pain and I pitted myself in this timeline, in this part right here, and all these years to come, to go through all this stuff again. And I took all the stuff I went through when I was younger and bring it to me and remembered it, what I did to go through all that, and I just brought it to me in these years, so therefore I can go through all this stuff. I mean, because I kind of like forgot what I went through, but then I had to remember what I had done when I was younger. And so I just took that And then I was like, okay, then I could do this and do that and do that and do that. So therefore, they wouldn't know. They'd be like, how is she still surviving this stuff? Now they know. And but they're still doing spell work on me, even though. And another thing is that they had from birth to 2022, the year 2022, to try to kill me. God allowed that because I was one of those people that basically I was there to, when they do spell work on me and everything, trying to kill me, I was like a trap for them. I didn't know that, but that's what God did. Now, on this video, it's kind of long, 45 minutes. I don't know if the video, I don't better do 45 minutes, but on YouTube or not. But that was the whole thing. People kept on attacking me, and basically they would get karma because I was a master 22, master 33, master karmic, meaning that when people do spell work on me or say anything against me or whatever, they would get karma. Judgment, torments, they would get all that stuff. And the more they do it, and my ancestors didn't play about me because there was a lot of generational curses that had to be broken. And God was telling me about all that stuff, and I said, okay, I ain't had nothing else to do. If my wife died, half of me died too. So I know she was like a go-getter. So I said, you know what? I ain't become a minister and nothing like that when I was younger. So I figured, okay, I'll go for it. And I had to go through all this stuff. And that's why I just kept pushing myself. Get stronger and stronger. Usually, if I'm going through too much stuff, I just, okay, that's it, I'm done. But I just kept doing it. I kept pushing it. And God, he kept putting energy right back in me. Every time they drained energy from me, he put energy right back in me. I'd be like, woo, this feels good. But it was him putting energy right back in me. Every time they took energy, he would put it right back in me. I'd be like a little bunny hitting the drum, be going real fast. That's how I would have felt like. And they've been doing spell work. They unalive in 2024, January, they basically had me, I'm supposed to be dead on paper. And so therefore they can get insurance, whatever I'm supposed to be getting. And I happen to have a whole bunch of properties and everything, but this occult is got it rigged up where therefore they get it. And I don't really get anything. And they've been trying to kill me off ever since. Different insurances and stuff that my ancestors left for me, and basically they were the ones who were keeping it for themselves, changing documents and everything, left to somebody, so therefore I was supposed to get it, but then they decided they're going to take me off the will and basically make sure that they put somebody else there and they get everything. And I'm God with God and everything, been fighting it and everything, but every time they change it over and I was supposed to get a check, they call a post office and make sure they pay them that any mail come in for me, I don't get it. And they pay off the mailman or mailwoman, pay them some extra money to have this whole town that I'm in right now against me. And with God, I've been fighting it with God, but it's like, I guess he wants them to convert, but they don't want to convert. And they said that I'm supposed to change, but I changed already. I was stern and resilient when I was younger. And then I had to do this process. I kind of calmed down a little bit, but I'm back to this point again. I don't know, it's pretty long. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that they done other than that. And they still doing stuff, coming up with different plot twists and everything. Trying to unalive me, kill me off. Because now that I'm connected to the universe by doing meditation so much, and all the stuff they did, all the whole book of a coke book they have done on spell work, everything failed, and Satan is like really, really pissed. Like, can't kill me off, and they can't sacrifice me anymore. So they trying to do the biggest thing they can do to keep siphoning their energy. This person from my past, this narcissist person that just won't let me go, because it's all about she don't want to pass on, because she had a chance to kill me just like the rest of them, and their chance is over, and they don't want to let go, so they keep on doing spell work. It's not about no love for this person. Every time I get happy, here she comes. I start traveling to them, trying to get back in my energy. And any relationship that I'm so supposed to get involved with, she comes and sets it up with, and we get them in their mind, and make sure that instead of leaving me alone, have them to siphon energy from me to them so they can be abundant or heal from whatever karma they're going through because of the spell work that they done, and now they going through more stuff, more spell work, more tower, more karma, more judgment. Yeah, why don't God just nip them out of the bud and take them out? But that's not how God does things. There are some people that, well, I can't talk about that, I don't think. I mean, I know y'all getting the drift and everything. And how a person is going through what I'm going through. I get attacked every day. Sometimes I get attacked throughout the day. If I block people out, I sever soul ties, friend and enemy ties, coke family ties, sibling ties, kicking people out of my 12 houses. Everybody has 12 houses, like Zodiac. But, 12 houses represents different things like your money, your time, different things. And they like to take hold of those houses, like, and then, like they have control over you. If you feel sluggish or something, one of your houses is all about that. And then you have to break demonic chains that they put on you. Oh yeah, they did that. They put a demonic chain on me for years and didn't know. Or they do the root chakra. They put a root connection to your root chakra, so therefore they can get your wealth. And then you got your sacral chakra, which is your energy to have abundance, creativity. Yeah, all that stuff has been done to me. And so many other chosen ones, and probably a lot of people out there in the world, they going through this too, but they just don't know it. And they really don't want people to know about this, because this is the way for them to control people, take their wealth, and really they don't have nothing. They struggling to have stuff, to be able to have stuff, or the abundant money they're supposed to have. And these fallen angels are into everything, government, Illuminati, swinger club, all that, those Hollywood things, everything in Hollywood or in different cities and everything, or the major cities and some of the smaller ones, they got going on like that. And I'm going to do rituals they call demons and entities to make it work, and then they put a buffer, so therefore they can't take the God energy by themselves, so they put a buffer, so it's like a reflection, so therefore they don't get hit really bad from the energy coming to them. But the entities or the demons are like the buffers. So because they used to be angels before they became, entities or demons. Well, I'm gonna stop right here because it seems like I'm just rumbling on and everything. I think I covered everything, but I'm still getting attacked. But I still gotta keep on going and blocking them. God said you can't turn back now. Like, keep it up. And every time I try to do business, they act like, oh, they did it first. I can't even think about businesses because they can hear me when I'm thinking. And if I'm speaking out, they can hear me. God wants them to watch me and everything, and I didn't want that because I figured it's none of their business. He wanted to watch them to see that I am growing and I'm going to be abundant. But by them watching, they also do stuff against it. So it's kind of hard. But I try to explain that, but it's all about growth, and this is a tough road. I can understand why some people can't do it. And I don't have no hard time for them if they can't. This is a hard road. It's really hard. But to what I went through when I was younger, that helps me to keep going. All right, that's it. I'm gonna stop here. I'm getting tired. All right, God bless. Peace. Hope you understand. You understand what I'm saying. God bless you.